Good day, everyone. Welcome to our fifth topic under a series of lectures in regulatory framework. This time, we will discuss Presidential Decree 679 or the Unclaimed Balances Law. This is a very short law class which is related to how dormant accounts or bank deposits in the Philippines are being handled and who will be the ultimate recipient of these dormant accounts balances that remain unclaimed. As you all know, if this is a presidential decree, which is a law issued by the president, this has been issued by former President Ferdinand E. Marcos. So if you will encounter presidential decrees, it must be Marcos. And if you will encounter a law that is based on executive order, that has been issued by President Corazon Aquino. So there are only two presidents in the Philippines that were given or vested with lawmaking powers. Ferdinand E. Marcos by virtue of the martial law and the changes of the Philippine Constitution under the martial law, and of course President Corazon Aquino under the Freedom Constitution, which is a temporary constitution from the fall of Marcos up to the issuance of the 1980 or from the passing of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So let's go back to the topic Unclaimed Balances Law. So before we proceed with the in-depth discussion here, because obviously the real purpose of the Unclaimed Balances Law is to provide a procedure, a manner of how balances or unclaimed balances deposited in banks are to be handled or are to be treated in the Philippines. So here, we will first define what are unclaimed balances. So under the law, Section 1 of PD 679, unclaimed balances shall include credits or deposits of money, bullion, security or other evidence of indebtedness of any kind and interest thereon that are made or placed with banks, buildings and loan associations, and trust corporations as defined under the law in favor of any person who are now known to be dead or those who have not made further deposits or withdrawals during the preceding 10 years or more. So in order to classify as unclaimed balances, the amount deposited with the banks must either belong to a known dead person or even if not known to be dead, this particular account does not have any transactions for the past 10 years. If transactions, we contemplate any deposits or withdrawals whatsoever. The unclaimed balances, together with any increase in proceeds thereof, shall be deposited with the Treasurer of the Philippines and to be credited in the account of the Government of the Republic of the Philippines to be used as the National Assembly may direct. The National Assembly here will be replaced or contemplated as to be taken over by Congress. So here, basically for unclaimed balances found in banks, in loans and building associations and trust corporations in the Philippines, they are to be deposited with the Treasurer of the Philippines for the credit of the account of the Government of the Republic of the Philippines. Now, as mentioned in this particular law, banks, building and loan associations, and trust corporations shall refer to institutions defined under Section 2, 39, and 56 of Republic Act number 337, which is known as the General Banking Act, whether organized under special charters or not. So if you will contemplate, class, of what are these banks that are with original charter or not, kapag may original charter, these are traditionally government banks or government-owned and controlled corporations, such as the Land Bank of the Philippines or any banking corporations that are created under its own law or a particular specific law. If these particular banks are created without their own charter, meaning the bank has been incorporated under the Corporation Code, which is the primary corporate law in the Philippines, these are what we call private banks. Okay? Kapag sinabi natin, class, na may own charter, this particular bank has been created by a specific law passed by Congress. Whereas without a separate or special charter, it means that you are a regular corporation that has been incorporated or registered under the revised Corporation Code of the Philippines. So naturally, kapag you are created by law, you are a Philippine government bank such as Land Bank or the Development Bank of the Philippines or even the Philippine National Bank. What are the responsibility of these banks, building and loan associations, and trust corporations under this particular law? Well, they have to forward to the Treasurer of the Philippines a statement under oath of the managing officers of all the credits and deposits held by them in favor of persons who are known to be dead or those who have not made further deposits or withdrawals during the preceding 10 years or more. These particular accounts will be arranged in alphabetical order according to their names of creditors and depositors, showing the names as well as the last known place of residence or post office address of the person in whose favor such unclaimed balances stand, the amount and date of the outstanding unclaimed balance, the date and when the person in whose favor the unclaimed balance stands died, if known, or if the date when his last deposit or withdrawal was made, and the interest due on such unclaimed balance, if any, and the amount thereof. So this particular law, Section 2, PD 679, already enumerated what are the requirements as well as the content of this particular document or report to be submitted by these banks that are to be submitted under oath by the respective managing officers. Right? A copy of the sworn statement shall be posted in a conspicuous place in the premises of the bank, building and loan associations or trust corporations for at least 60 days from the date of filing. Immediately before filing the above sworn statement, the bank, building and loan association, and trust corporation shall communicate with the person in whose favor the unclaimed balance stands at his last known place of residence or post office address. It shall be the duty of the Treasurer of the Philippines to inform the Solicitor General from time to time the existence of unclaimed balances held by banks, building and loan associations, and trust corporations. Alright? So this particular law also provides for publication requirement. And this publication requirement is more of compliance of the due process requirement, which is to inform the public in order to give a chance to the public, if they will know that this particular account holder still exists or is still alive, and this particular balances will render dormant, but they basically can still claim in the future, they can intercept, alright? Because they were able to be informed by this particular statement, sworn statement filed by the bank through the publication requirement, which is to be done within the premises of the bank, building and loan associations, as well as trust corporations. Now, there is also a reiteration that it is the duty of the Treasurer of the Philippines to inform the Office of the Solicitor General of the existence of the unclaimed balances held by banks, building and loan associations, and trust corporations. As mentioned, this is a very short law, so this ends our fifth topic on PD 679, Unclaimed Balances Law.